cruel, unpredictable, dangerous. In The Tyrant's Chef, the king rules with fear. Even the kitchen isn't safe. But what if I told you? This king isn't just fiction. He's based on a real monarch, the most hated king in Korean history. The drama follows a modern chef thrown into the Joseon dynasty. Her mission? Cook for a mad king. But behind the fiction lies a brutal truth. Yeonsangun, a prince scarred by tragedy, a king consumed by vengeance. Was he born a monster or made into one? Yeonsangun wasn't born cruel. He was born Lee-young, son of King Songjong and Queen Yun, a prince, heir to a kingdom, destined to rule. But his childhood shattered when his mother was executed, not just killed, erased, accused of crimes she may never have committed. He was 12, forced to live with a truth twisted by politics. The first record of him learning the full story? At 20. By then, the seed of rage had already taken root. Trauma like this doesn't fade, it festers. And for Yeonsangun, the palace became a cage. Every whisper of betrayal, every scholar's criticism, every silence fed his fury. In the drama, the king's instability is hinted at. In real life, it was forged in grief. In 1495, Lee-young became king. The boy, scarred by loss, now held absolute power. And he used it, not with wisdom, but with fear. Scholars, officials, servants, no one was safe. He launched 2 purges, Muhosa and Gapjasa. Hundreds massacred, families erased, torture became routine. The Royal University, a playground for cruelty. Women were taken from across the country. The palace turned into a stage for obsession. In the drama, the king lashes out over food. In real life, Yeonsangun lashed out over truth. What happens when grief becomes law? What drove him to such extremes? Grief, betrayal, rage. The death of Queen Yun wasn't just personal. It was political. And decades later, he learned the truth. Officials and relatives had orchestrated her downfall. The revelation shattered him. He dragged the culprits into the light, punished them publicly, left a trail of blood. His vengeance wasn't just personal. It was a warning. In the drama, the king punishes those who fail him in the kitchen. In history, he punished those who betrayed his past. What happens when a broken heart holds the throne? Yeonsangun didn't just punish. He indulged. Luxury, feasts, alcohol, women. He surrounded himself with excess. Governance? Ignored. Officials who once guided him? Silenced, exiled, executed. He twisted the moral code of Joseon, bent Confucian wills to justify cruelty. Every act of tyranny fed his paranoia. Every indulgence deepened his isolation. In the drama, the king eats alone. In history, he ruled alone and feared everyone. Behind every violent act was the shadow of a boy who lost his mother. Tyrants rarely last, and Yeonsangun was no exception. By 1506, even his allies had turned. A coup erupted inside the palace. He was stripped of power, banished to Ganghwa Island. 2 months later, he died, 31 years old. No throne, no legacy, just the memory of terror. The same court that hid the truth about his mother orchestrated his downfall. Power, betrayal, vengeance. The cycle completed. Yeonsangun didn't vanish from history. He became a symbol, a warning, a cautionary tale. Dramas and novels reimagine him, sometimes as a villain, sometimes as a tragic soul. The Tyrant's Chef is the latest. A fictional king, a modern chef, a palace full of secrets. The drama softens the edges, adds romance, adds humor. But the real Yeonsangun, he didn't cook up love. He cooked up fear. Behind the crown, a prince who suffered. Behind the throne, a man consumed by grief. Power amplified his trauma. Fear became his tool. And history remembers both. History isn't fiction. The stories we tell soften the edges, add suspense, add redemption. But Yeonsangun lived in fear, in anger, in obsession. He teaches us something timeless. Trauma, left unhealed, can create monsters. And maybe every palace, every leader, every court has a shadow side we rarely see. Next time you watch a drama like The Tyrant's Chef, ask yourself, which parts are fiction and which parts are history too dark to tell?
If this story moved you, don't let it end here. Hit that like button to support deep storytelling. Subscribe for more untold histories behind the dramas we love. And tell me in the comments, was Yeonsangun a villain or a victim of his own past?